Hello everyone, CatWeazle here. Welcome back to Eldritch Horror and Cthulhu Turn 2. Okay, things were a bit grim at the end of Turn 1. We lost poor old Wilson, who's gone bonkers in Buenos Aires. But we've still got Diana, we've got Skids, we've got Patrice, and we have got our new investigator, Akachi. The main problem we're facing is we haven't got much health to go around, so a lot of resting is going to go on. But we'll see what we can do. And our first player is going to be Skids. The reason for that is it's the only way he can go before Diana. Once we start doing going clockwise after Skids, we go to Patrice, then Akachi, and then to Diana. And we want him to bless Diana. So that's why Skids is going to have to go first. Okay, so let's do that and let's get straight into the action phase. Here we are, Buenos Aires with Skids. So what's Skids going to do? Well, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to rest. He's got 3 health and 3 sanity, so that will now go up to 4 health and 4 sanity, which is a lot better. And because he's resting, that means we can have a look at this leg injury. When you perform a rest action, you may roll 1 die. On a 5 or a 6, discard this card. So let's see if you can discard this card. He is blessed, as per what happened with his encounter last turn. So he can roll 1 dice. Obviously it's only a 5 and a 6, so even if he gets a 4 he's not going to do it, but we'll use the blessed dice anyway. A 5, yes! So excellent work there from Skids. That means we get rid of the leg injury. So we can put that back. So that's the first successful thing he's managed to do, which is really good. Now, he's going to do a component action for his next action, which involves the holy water. Action, discard this card to choose an investigator on your space to gain a blessed condition. So he's going to get rid of this, discarded, and the person who's going to get the blessed condition is obviously going to be Diana Stanley, seeing as Skids himself is already blessed, and poor old Wilson, he's bonkers. So let's get the little boon deck that I've got. Quick shuffle, quick cut, pull off the bottom. Blessed is the first one up. So this is the blessed card that Diana is going to get. So she's now blessed. Good, good. Right, that's it for Skids. Next up will be Patrice Hathaway, and she is in Sydney. Here we are with Patrice. First thing she's going to do is obviously rest. She has only got 1 health. So even after resting, which will give her 2 health, and it will also bump her sanity back up to 6, she's still in a spot of bother. But at least she's in less of a spot of bother than she was. Because she's rested, that means she gets another go at the stone tablet. So when you perform a rest action, you may attempt to decipher the carvings on the tablet, which is a law -1. Okay. So her law is 3 -1. That gives her 2 dice. Let's see if she can do it. No, unfortunately not. Ah, curses. So she retains that. For a second action, she too is going to do a component action, and that involves the spell Banishment, which is a ritual. Action, test law +2. If you pass, discard 1 monster on the nearest space containing a gate with toughness equal to or less than your test result. So we've got Shanghai Gate, which has got a ghost on it. We'd very much like to get rid of that ghost, so we're going to give it a go. So a law's 3 +2, that's going to be 5 dice. I believe the ghost, well, it has 2, so we need 2 successes, really. So Come on, Patrice. And she gets 2 6s. Excellent stuff. So that's the end of the ghost, which is good. And that is also the end of Patrice's action phase. After Patrice, we've got a Catchy who's down in Cape Town. But just before we go to Cape Town, I've got to flip banishment. I think it's lose one sanity, I think. Yes, the magic warps your perception of time and space, lose 1 sanity. So that sanity she just got for resting, she spends it on that banishment spell. But that's okay. Right. Now, we shall go to Cape Town. And there's a Catchy in Cape Town. So, no need for her to rest. She's fully healed and fully sane. What she is going to do is she's going to use her action, a special action, where she can look at the top 2 gates in the gate stack. So, let's have a look at what they are. Right, we've got Tunguska and we've got Buenos Aires. Now, fortunately, neither of these are red sunburst gates. And I think what we'll do is Tunguska is the one we'll put on the bottom. And we will leave Buenos Aires on the top. The reason for that is we've got a couple of investigators in Buenos Aires already, so nobody will have to move there, lose tempo, get into the gate in order to shut it. Skids is quite tough, so hopefully he'll be able to deal with any monster that comes with it. 2, we'll have the opportunity to close it before the next blue constellation omen pops up. And hopefully Diana will be out of the way fighting Cthulhu by then. So I think we shall do it that way. Okay, so that's her first action. Next action is going to be a movement. We're going to try and get her up to London. Want to spawn plenty of clue tokens so we can hoover them up. Use them for things like rumours and mystery cards and stuff like that. So a Catchy is going to move up to Dakar in West Africa for her second action. Right, that leaves us with Diana Stanley. So let's pop across to Buenos Aires. And here we are in Buenos Aires. So Diana, what's she going to do? Well, first up, she's going to do what pretty much everybody has done. She's going to take a rest action. So she's going to get back 1 health and 1 sanity, which will put her up to 4 health and 4 sanity. She's also poisoned. So when you perform a rest action, you cannot recover health or sanity. So I'll take those off. I'll take those off. But we do get to flip the card. So, persisting illness. The rash covering most of your body continues to spread. You are regularly stricken with fits of coughing and it has become hard to move. Test strength. Well, fortunately, she's got a strength of 3 and she's blessed. So, let's get 3 blessed dice. And she gets 2 successes. Woo! Right, if you pass, discard this card. Fantastic. She manages to get rid of the poison that was in her system. Brilliant stuff. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to recover any health or sanity, but we'll take that any day of the week. Right, so that's the first action. So what she's going to do with the second action is she is going to test influence, see if we can get ourselves an asset. So her influence is 2. So again, 2 blessed dice. She gets 1 on the 6. And she's going to use a lucky cigarette case. Once per round, you may add 1 to the result of 1 die. So we're going to change that to a 4. So that is 2 successes. And we are going to take the Arcane Scholar. So she'll get +1 law So a law will be 5 while she's got this ally, and she'll be able to re-roll 1 die when resolving a law test. So we'll take the scholar, excellent stuff, and obviously we'll replace the reserve. So what takes its place is a spirit dagger item, weapon, magical. Gain +1 will and +2 strength during combat encounters. Very nice. That could come in very useful. Somebody like a Catchy, or, well, pretty much anybody really. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right, so that's the end of the action phase. Next up is the encounter phase. And here we are at the encounter phase. Skids is our first player. We're still in Buenos Aires. And what is he going to do in his encounter phase? Well, he's going to encounter Wilson. So we get Wilson's player card. And let's have a look at the insane part of it. When you find Wilson, he's surrounded by countless shards of glass and loose stones he's arranged in some way that is only meaningful to him. As you watch, he moves the debris around in obscure patterns. You spend a few hours trying to speak with him. Influence test. Oh, God. Bugger. Skids has an influence of 1. But he is blessed. Come on. Come on, Skids. Yes, Skids! You star! Brilliant. Got away with that one. If you pass, you understand the message he's struggling to communicate. Retreat Doom by 1. Woohoo! So Doom goes back up to 12. That's really good news. I think that's it. The rest is just fail condition. Whatever happens, we get his stuff. So we get Professor Armitage, an ally. We get the clairvoyance spell. And we get the blunderbuss. Good stuff. So that's excellent work there by Skids. Right, so that's it for his encounter phase. Next up, we're Patrice Hathaway, and she is in Sydney. Here's Patrice. So she gets a Far East encounter. Purple deck. So let's pop this across. We'll look at Sydney. The notorious criminal Kate Lee has acquired a bizarre item and is looking for a buyer. She thinks no amount of money can equal someone like you owing her a favour. You may gain an agreement condition to gain a weapon artifact. An agreement no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. So we might have got a nice like artifact out of it, weapon artifact, but equally an agreement, don't like him. Don't like agreements. Deck conditions, not bad. Agreements, grim. So we're going to leave that. But it also means nothing happens. So we didn't lose any more health or anything, so that's good news for the lovely Patrice. Right, next up is a Catchy, and she is in Dakar. Here's a Catchy. So she's in a wilderness space. So we'll get the general encounter deck. And let's see what the wilderness space holds for us. The winds turn bitterly cold and a storm descends upon you before you can build a shelter. The ordeal pushes your endurance to the limit. Test strength. Is strength quite good? 2. The strength's okay. Oh, she failed. Right, before I read the rest of that, she has got a clue. Is it worth getting rid of it? No, probably not. So, she's failed. If you fail, you collapse and the elements take their toll. Lose 1 health and gain a hypothermia condition. Ah! The 1 health was fine. The hypothermia condition isn't fine. Oh, I think they're really grim as well, these. I haven't played Mountains of Madness yet, but I've read the pretty grim hypothermia conditions. It's an infection, that's poisoned, hypothermia. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover health. Roll 1 die. Well, at least you can recover a sanity. On a 4, 5 or 6, discard this card. Right. Exposure. That doesn't seem too bad. Perhaps it's if you get another hypothermia condition, it gets really bad. Right. Okay. So she's got hypothermia. Doesn't seem too bad. At least it doesn't have a reckoning effect on it. I don't think. No, it hasn't. So, yeah, might have got away with that one. Right, so that's it for a catchy. And next up, it's Diana Stanley. So let's go back to Buenos Aires. And here we are in Buenos Aires. What she's going to do is, obviously, she's going to have a Buenos Aires encounter. So let's have a look. You are horrified to find several blasphemous sculptures on display at the university. Test your will -1. Her will's 1. Brilliant. So she will get 1. She will get 1 roll, and she is blessed. You have to roll at least 1 blessed die. One die a test, and it's going to be blessed. 4. She does it. 4. There's a couple of single rolls we've got away with. Right. If you pass, the sculptor approaches you. Gain the Henry Wilcox unique asset. Bah! So we didn't get a ritual spell. But let's see what Henry Wilcox is like. He's a unique asset, so well, he must be in this lot. I'll look through from the front. We're finding an individual. It's quicker to look through from the front. And then I'll shuffle again. Come on, Henry, where are you, man? Watch Henry be right at the back. Etienne, Danforth, Hiram, Asenath, Father Malusu. He is going to be at the back, isn't he? Sir William Brinton. Remember him from Arkham? Fancy an arm wrestle? Or an a-hole? Right. It is going to be the last bloody one, isn't it? Henry. Well, he looks a bit of a star, doesn't he? Ally. You and other investigators on your space roll 1 additional die when resolving tests during otherworld encounters. After resolving an otherworld encounter, if you did not close that gate, gain 1 clue. Not bad. Sort of thing to give to a catchier Patrice, though, that. Right, so she's currently got 3 allies, Diana. Let's give these a quick... Right, so that's it for the encounter phase. Unfortunately, she didn't get another ritual spell. I think we're just going to have to go in on Cthulhu and just do it, man. So, at least you got an ally. Don't. Leaving half the cards behind. Right, so that's it for the encounter phase. Next up, oh, we can get rid of Wilson. Wilson's gone, baby. And get rid of his character card. Go back in the pile. Right, oh, next up, it's the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are at the mythos phase. Right, so let's have a look, shall we? Oh, blue. Rumour. We knew it was coming. We've got 2 in the first 4. Right, so first of all, we get 2 clues. Right. Not looking, so that's 1, that's 2. We've got space 12, which is where Cthulhu is. And we've got space 21, which is in the Outback in Australia. Okay, so we need 3 Eldritch tokens. So we've got 3 of those. See where they're going. Your contact in the capital is hesitant to speak about those called the Watches. He says they work for a number of different governments but answer to some other authority. Lost knowledge. Ongoing rumour. When this card enters play, spawn the TikTok Men Epic Monster on space 21. When it is defeated, solve this rumour. The only pity about that, because it's Australia, we've just put a clue there as well, actually, is our nearest investigator is also the investigator who has got the least health. So, a bit of a bummer. But let's find the TikTok Men. Here they are. Let's have a read. Well, at least we don't have to do any sort of horror test. Strength test -2. Ooh, we've got to get 3 successes or more to stop taking damage. You cannot spend a clue to reroll dice during this combat encounter, and the toughness is 6. So they're on space 21 down here in Australia, right near Patrice. Okay. What else was there on this? When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, discard all clues on the games board. Then each investigator discards all clues, so we lose all our clues. So that's pretty nasty as well. Damn. Right, sort this out. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the mythos phase. We've now got a rumour. Okay, well, I'll be back shortly and we shall do the turn review. And here we are at the turn review. Well, it went pretty well. So Skids did very well. He managed to get Doom back by 1 by having a chat with Wilson. He's also picked up Clairvoyance, Professor Armitage, and the Blunderbuss. So that's pretty good. He did pretty well. Patrice in Sydney, she managed to get a rest action in, so she's up to 2 health. Still not great, but it's pretty good. She didn't manage to see what a stone tablet has in store, unfortunately, but she did use the banishment spell, and we managed to get rid of the ghost on Shanghai, so that's good stuff. Akachi, she managed to get herself a hypothermia condition, but it doesn't seem too bad. It doesn't have a reckoning on it, and hopefully we will be able to get rid of it. But I may keep that for a few turns, because it doesn't have a reckoning on. We'll just leave it to such time as she has a rest, and then we'll try and get rid of it then. I think she will continue on, pretty much in the same vein as she has been doing. She managed to look at the gates, that was it. We've put the Tunguska gate on the bottom, and we know Buenos Aires is next. But we've got a couple of investigators there in and around Buenos Aires. Diana Stanley. Well, Diana managed to get another ally in Henry Wilcox, who's pretty good for otherworld encounters. Other than that, he's not amazing. But she did get the Arcane Scholar as well when she tested Influence, so that gains +1 law. She is turning into the person who's got all the gear. We'll put up with that until she gets rid of Cthulhu. And then once she gets rid of Cthulhu, we'll start handing stuff out. We could do with spreading that sort of bounty all around the team. So she did pretty good anyway. She got Henry Wilcox, she's got the Arcane Scholar, but even though she's only on 3 health and 3 sanity, I think she's really got to go and get cracking, and let's see if we can get rid of Cthulhu. So what we're going to do next turn? Well, Diana's going to be first. The reason for that is we've still got Esteban, and what we'll do is we shall have a bit of a trade. I think we'll get Professor Armitage, Clairvoyance, and the Blunderbuss to Diana. The Blunderbuss will give a combat bonus, because she hasn't actually got a weapon. So that'll give her a combat bonus for fighting Cthulhu. And we've also got the chance on 6s that we'll put 2 wounds on Cthulhu. There is a chance on 1s we'll lose a wound. off Cthulhu, but we do have the lucky cigarette case, so we could add one and prevent that happening. Clairvoyance will help, because the sea-based clues, we need somebody to pick those up without actually having to go to the sea space, and clairvoyance will allow us to do that, and she's got miles better lore than Skids has. Professor Armitage obviously gives a lore bonus to spell effects, so that may as well go to Diana as well. We may look to hand that over to Akachi or Patrice later on. So that's the plan with Diana. She will use Esteban. We'll do a bit of trading, so that'll be a free trade. Then what she'll do is, I think we may have one last go at getting some stuff out of the reserve. For example, that spirit dagger would be very useful, and then we can decide whether we use that or the blunderbuss. In fact, we might do that first. We might roll for that first, and then when it comes to trading, we'll see if we trade the blunderbuss, or perhaps give the spirit dagger to Skids, something like that. Then it'll be Skids go. Skids is in Buenos Aires. Now, what he might do is he might be our man to solve this rumour and take on the TikTok men. He's blessed, he's quite tough, so what he might do is buy himself a ship ticket, I think, and then he'll get across to Sydney, where he'll be with Patrice, and then he's only one move away from going up and sorting out the TikTok men. Further turn, he can have a rest, perhaps get another health, another sanity, and then go and take the TikTok men on. So that should be pretty cool. If he still has the blunderbuss, for example, say Diana Stanley picks up the spirit dagger, if he still has the blunderbuss, then that'll be helpful as well for him to do that. So I think that's what we'll do with Skids. Should we get the Buenos Aires gates, hopefully Diana will have dealt with Cthulhu by then, and she can go back to Buenos Aires and deal with the gate. Next up would be Patrice Hathaway. Now, she needs to rest again. She still hasn't got enough health, so she's just going to have to rest again. So we'll keep her in Sydney, rest, then, do we sort of head towards Shanghai? We're in the same boat as we were last turn, really. Does she really need to go? She could rest, and then she could use her focus and the clue to knock one of her abilities up. Now, what she'll do, she'll rest, and then I think she will move to Jakarta, and from Jakarta we'll try and get up to Shanghai. She can't really go to Shanghai because, she does need to rest. 2 health is not enough, so she does need to rest, and then I think we'll move her to Jakarta, and then at least she's only 1 move away from Shanghai then, and hopefully she will, by the time she gets to Shanghai, she will have 4 health, hopefully, and that's put her in a better position to close that gate. Right, Akachi. Well, she is now in Dakar. With her, I think that hypothermia is not too bad as it stands. We don't need to take a rest action. She's only lost 1 health. So I think what she'll do is she'll move to Rome. And once she's in Rome, what's she going to do there? She may take a focus or something like that. So, because she won't be able to move again, and we can't get a sea ticket on that wilderness space, a ship ticket. So she'll move to Rome, and then she will get herself a focus, I think. Yeah, I think that's, and then she's ready to move to London the turn after that and start spawning some clues for us. Okay, right, well, I think that's it. Oh, of course, she might test influence. It depends what comes out into the reserve. She might test influence if the spirit dagger's still there or something. She might test influence, but otherwise she'll get herself a focus, I think. Right, so that's it for the turn review. Hope you enjoyed the turn. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for all the subscriptions and all the views and all the comments and all the tips. They remain very much appreciated. And I hope you'll join me for turn 3 of Eldritch Horror Cthulhu. Until then, this is me, CatWeazle, signing off. Toodaloo.